Whether Megatron is the last knight is actually not even the relevant question. The more relevant question is, who are the knights? What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex Hugh, and you're watching The Road to TF5. This is just a web series we're talking about Transformers last night. This is episode number 70. Now, I know it feels like it's been a while since I posted my last update. The previous episode, episode number 69, was posted 4 days ago. Not too long ago, but it feels like a long time. Now, why is that? Well, that is because the production hasn't officially revealed anything major on their most popular social media accounts. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Since the reveal of Bumblebee's new robot mode in the concept art, there hasn't been anything. And that's why it feels like a long time. We haven't even seen on-set location photos. Now, typically, when they're filming on the streets, we'd get photos of people with their cell phones posting on Instagram and Twitter, but there hasn't been a whole lot going on. And that's why it feels like it's been a long time since anything has been posted at all. Now, to be completely honest, a lot has been going on, but not a lot of it is actually worth talking about in a video. It's just some minor stuff that's happening here and there. I mean, there's Snapchat, if you've been following the Snapchat, but I haven't been keeping up to date with the Snapchat just because, I'll be completely honest, not all of that stuff is that interesting to me. I mean, there are some interesting things, but not all of it is. And the last major update that isn't a character reveal was when they were filming in a soundstage. It was in a soundstage filled with green screens, and that could explain why we haven't seen any set photos. They've been filming all their stuff inside sound stages, so it's keeping the production under wraps. Now, in my opinion, the three biggest reveals and confirmations was the confirmation that the Western Star tow truck is in fact Onslaught, and also the fact that Hot Rod is in Transformers Last Night, and Megatron's revealed robot mode in the concept art. Those are the three biggest confirmations. And seeing those things was just like, wow, that is awesome. Now, it's time to move on. And by moving on, I'm telling you that it's time to move on to the next location, because this is the next big piece of news, and that is filming in Detroit has wrapped. They're now going to be filming in Scotland. Tomorrow, in fact, if you are watching this on Sunday, I don't even know if I can get this uploaded on Sunday, but if you're watching this on Monday, they're filming in Scotland. The reason why I know this is because Michael Bay posted himself on Instagram in Paris, working on some Victoria's Secret stuff, because you know that Michael Bay is the go-to guy when you want a badass Victoria's Secret promo video. If you've seen any of his Victoria's Secret promo videos, he does a good job shooting them. So anyways, he was working on some of that stuff, taking a little bit break from robots, and that was in Paris. Posted a couple of photos on Instagram, and he mentioned that tomorrow, or rather Monday, is when they're going to be filming in Scotland. That is exciting. This will be the second international location, first location being Cuba. And this is the second international location they're filming at. That would be Scotland. They're also going to be filming in England, potentially Mongolia, Iceland, and maybe Northern Ireland. And that's all I know so far. And that's really exciting stuff. What they're going to film there, I don't know, but I'm pretty positive. I can't say I'm positive. I'm pretty sure that they're going to be filming some stuff in the Scottish Highlands, because, you know, there's some beautiful cinematography that they can do over there. And take advantage of the scenery, you know, take advantage of some of Scotland's landmarks, right? That would be awesome. Anyways, you know they're going to be filming in London later on because, well, it would be appropriate to get some establishing shots, some wide, grand establishing shots to show that they're in London, even though they used Detroit to stand in for London, just like they used Detroit to stand in for Hong Kong and also Chicago. Anyways, Detroit seems to be the go-to place. But anyways, they're filming in Scotland tomorrow, so that's some pretty big news. Now, what's really, really interesting is that there's been talk about... of course, there's a lot of talk about Megatron. Megatron is the most interesting character, aside from Hot Rod, that generates a lot of questions. So for the rest of this episode, we're going to answer questions from the Ragin Nation. And I told you guys that if you tweeted a question at me with the hashtag #TheRoadToTF5, I would answer random questions from the Ragin Nation on Twitter. And some of these questions are about Megatron, and the reveal of Megatron and Hot Rod have generated a lot of questions. I think they're all very interesting because them being there, of course, contributes to the plot. So, first of all, I would like to share with you a tweet. It's not exactly a question, but this was tweeted at me from Kenneth Wright. And he says he looks more like the Transformers Prime version. And he's referring to Megatron, of course. And that is very interesting. I never even thought of that, but he posted Megatron's concept art from Transformers last night next to a photo, or rather image, of Megatron from Transformers Prime, and you can see that there is some major inspiration. And I'm thinking that they totally took inspiration of the design from Transformers Prime. I don't know how much about the personality or the character of Megatron, but definitely the design. Look at the armor, look at his feet, look at the shoulders, look at his face even. You know how those two parts come down on the Transformers Prime Megatron? I guess they're in some ways a variation of that with those tusks. You know what I'm saying? And they move out of the way so it can reveal his face. So you can totally see inspiration there. And I think that's where they got it from. And so thanks for bringing that to my attention, Kenneth. I appreciate that, and that is very, very interesting. So let's move on to questions, all right? So the first question comes from Craft's Journey. Judging by his appearance, what if Megatron is the last knight? Now, that is an interesting question. I say it's interesting because who are the knights? What are knights? What is the concept of knights to begin with? The most notable group that I know of that means anything in the Transformers live-action universe are the Primes. If you really think about it, in the first 3 Transformers films, the first trilogy, I'm going to call it the first trilogy, the emphasis on Primes is something that is dominant. Okay? Optimus Prime is, of course, a Prime. He referred to Megatron as his brother, as in brother in arms. In Revenge of the Fallen is a Prime. He's the only type of being that could also defeat Optimus Prime because he's a Prime, okay? And also, when we saw that little scene where Shia LaBeouf, or rather Sam Witwick, he goes to Transformers Heaven, we see the other Primes. So, of course, they put more emphasis on the Prime story, all right? And then in Dark of the Moon, there was, of course, the addition of the character of Sentinel Prime, who is also a Prime, who is someone who could also defeat Optimus Prime. He didn't do it, but he was someone who definitely stood up for the challenge. So there are Primes, and then there are Knights. Now, Age of Extinction was when they started introducing Knights, and then we saw inside Lockdown ship something called the Knights Temenos inside his Knight ship. And I'm talking Knight ship as in like with a K, alright? So this is the Knight ship. Did he hijack that ship that was once used by Knights? But who are these Knights? Are these ancient Cybertronians? Last I checked, ancient Cybertronians were the Primes. So what is this concept of Knights? I think Knights is something that is, as far as I know, a new concept that is introduced into the live-action universe. Whether Optimus Prime is the last knight or whether Megatron is the last knight is actually not even the relevant question. The more relevant question is who are the Knights? And what is their significance to the Cybertronian world? So that is something very interesting. I don't have an answer for that, but it just leads me to question what in fact are the concept of the Knights and what are their abilities and why are they so special. So anyways, that's a good question from Craft's Journey. Moving on, this is a question from What's It To Ya? Do you think that Prime and Megatron will be the big fight climax, or will it be another enemy? Very good question. We have seen Megatron fight with Optimus Prime in all 4 of the films. Alright, in the Age of Extinction, it was him fighting against Galvatron in the middle of the movie, but in Transformers 1, Revenge of the Fallen, and Dark of the Moon, they had some sort of brief battle. And in Revenge of the Fallen, they had their major battle in the forest fight, which occurred in the middle of the movie. I have a feeling that we're not actually going to see that big climactic fight where once he beats Megatron, or once Megatron beats Optimus Prime, that's the end of the movie. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that Megatron is one of 2 or 3 major villains that he has to face off with. And by he, I mean Optimus Prime. I think that Optimus Prime is going to have a major fight with Megatron, and then he's going to have to fight the big, bad, 3-headed dragon. I don't know what that thing is. It could be Predaking. It could even be Scourge. But I think that Megatron is not going to be the big bad villain. As in, like, it's going to be mano a mano until the very end of the movie. I don't think that's going to happen. But we will see a big fight between the 2, but it's not the big climactic battle. That's what I think. I could be entirely wrong. Jimmy Bunker asks, do you think Optimus will find Hot Rod on Cybertron and return to Earth to help beat Megatron? It totally suggests that. Based on what we've seen in the production, we haven't seen the Lamborghini Centenario. We haven't seen him rolling out with the other Autobots. So therefore, it's highly possible that Hot Rod is a much later addition. And by a much later addition, I'm talking about later on in the running time of the film. So highly possible that we're not even going to see a whole lot of Optimus Prime. We're just going to see the main Autobots, and then later on we'll see Optimus Prime come back from his journey to Cybertron or wherever he's going up, meeting the creators, and then he's going to bring back Hot Rod. That's highly possible. That's what the production suggests so far. Flores asks, could we see Starscream return in future due to his spark being unkillable? I don't think so at all. I do not think he's going to appear at all. He's dead. Sam Wiki blew his face off, and he just came falling down in pieces. So I don't think that's going to happen. That is a confirmed kill. Barricade, on the other hand, was not a confirmed kill. His kill was kind of ambiguous. We kind of just saw it in the background, but it doesn't show him just lying dead and just like, okay, he's gone. You know what I'm saying? Starscream was a confirmed kill. We're not going to see him come back. Gage Turner asks, do you think Skids and Mudflaps are going to return? If they do, what robot and vehicle mode look like? Now, I'm not even going to answer the second question because I just don't think they're going to return. The reason why I don't think so, and the reason why they aren't going to return, was because Skids and Mudflaps was a mistake. Adding them into the story was a mistake. Michael Bay wanted to add them in for comic relief, and we know how that turned out. They ended up being the Jar Jar Binks of the Transformers live-action universe, and once I watched Revenge of the Fallen more, they don't really bother me that much, but the fact is that a lot of the general movie-going public and a lot of Transformers fans thought they were very poorly written. Like, they were written in bad taste. And so they removed them. And Michael Bay decided not to include them in Dark of the Moon. They originally were supposed to be added into Dark of the Moon, but they didn't add them in. So the fact that he changed his mind about adding them into Dark of the Moon already shows that he wasn't planning to add them in the future. And there's also, I believe, a comic book suggests that Sentinel Prime killed Skids and Mudflaps, so they're dead. Okay. Omari Ferreri asks, do you think in the movie Bumblebee will take charge of the Autobots for half of the movie, then Optimus will after? Totally think so. The fact that there's a Bumblebee spin-off film, which is actually Transformers 6 coming out in 2018, tells you that Bumblebee plays quite a significant role. And to top things off, Bumblebee being a leader right next to Optimus Prime, like as in second in command, that is not a new concept. It was introduced in Transformers Robots in Disguise, the current, or rather the most recent animated version of Transformers. So that's a concept that actually exists in the cartoons, and they're taking those elements, bringing into Transformers the 6th, which is the Bumblebee spin-off film, and then they're going to have a little bit of a prologue to that in Transformers Last Night, because as you already can see, Optimus Prime isn't seen a whole lot with the other Autobots. So who's going to lead them? Bumblebee. Ryan Knopp asks, why have we yet to see Optimus Prime's alt mode other than the teaser? Why are they keeping him such a secret? Well, when you really think about it, is it really that much of a secret? Do we really want to see Optimus Prime's robot mode? Is it that big of a deal? We already know what Optimus Prime's vehicle mode looks like, his alt mode. So why should we think or believe that his robot mode would be that much different? We've already seen Bumblebee's robot mode. It's not that much different. We've seen Hound and Drift's and Crosshair's robot mode. Not that much different. I mean, Crosshairs didn't have any changes at all, as far as I can see. And Hot Rod, Drift had a paint upgrade, chest upgrade, and then Hound got upgraded to Medic, and he's a little bit taller, and then he has less weapons. But at the end of the day, they're still the same robot mode. So I'm just thinking, do we really need to see Optimus Prime's robot mode? Is it that big of a deal? I don't think so. So if they decide not to reveal it, who cares, right? Like, who really cares? I mean, do you really care? I don't care that much. I mean, it would be nice to see it, but I'm positive that once people see it, people are gonna, the reaction will be like, well, that's kind of lazy. You know, it's just old concept art and he doesn't look that much different. I think they might change him a little bit, but it's not that gonna be that big of a change, because what really happened between the events of Age of Extinction and the Last Night? Well, he went to visit the Quintessons. Maybe he got a bit of an upgrade there, but it won't change it that much, okay? Quintus Thomas asks, if Michael Bay leaves after Transformers 5, who would you like to see direct the next movie? Let's be completely realistic here, okay? I would love to see J.J. Abrams direct Transformers, but he told, you know, in an interview, he said that he does not want to ever be involved in any more franchise films. So, definitely not going to happen. I would next like to see Jon Favreau direct a Transformers live-action film. I don't think that's going to happen. I would like to see a lot of other directors direct Transformers 6 or the Bumblebee spin-off, but I think what we're going to end up getting is a director that we don't know very much about. And that's what I think is going to happen. But for sure, I would love to see J.J. Abrams. I would love to see Jon Favreau, the director of Iron Man 1 and 2 and The Jungle Book. But I don't think that's going to happen. So I just know that's not going to be Michael Bay. Welsh Assassin asks, is there anyone you'd like to see in TF5? I would love to see Prowl. But since Barricade exists, we're not going to see Prowl. So what's the next best thing? I would like to see Red Alert. I would like to see Red Alert as a sleek sports car, police car. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'd like to see. We kind of have that as Barricade, so hopefully we can see him as that. And maybe he can take the duty of Medic off of Hound. So I'm hoping we can see Red Alert at some point in the future, but that's who I'd like to see the most. Oh, and Inferno. I want to see Inferno. I want to see a freaking fire truck Autobot. I want to see that. And I want to see him working with actual firemen. And like, you know, like taking out a fire. You know what I'm saying? I want him to like use his ability as a robot firefighter and just using his fire hose and just like blowing out the flames of a building. I would love to see that. So Red Alert and Inferno. Finally, last question is the Cybertron prequel going to have realistic CG like in all the movies, or will it be animated like TF Prime? Now, if you aren't aware, the Ant-Man writers, the writing duo behind Ant-Man will be the writers for a Transformers prequel, a Cybertron prequel, which will be entirely CG. And that is happening at some point in time. Now, the question is, will it be Transformers Prime CG, or will it be realistic CG like in live-action films? I know for sure it's not going to be like Transformers Prime, because that looks way too cartoony. And if you want it to be, or rather feel connected with the Transformers live-action universe, you gotta have more realistic-looking CG. But I don't think it's going to be as realistic-looking as the live-action films. The reason why I feel that way is because it doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be. Why do they need to be a realistic-looking CG when there are no humans? You only need to have realistic-looking CG when there are humans acting in those scenes. When there are no humans, which is something the fans have wanted for a very long time, there's no need to have it looking that realistic. Of course, it's going to have to look similar to a certain extent to the animation quality of the films, but without that reference, and by reference I mean like a human standing there, like a real-life human standing there, then it doesn't need to look as photorealistic as the human. So that's where I'm going with that. It's not going to look as realistic as what we've seen before, but it's not going to look as cartoony as Transformers Prime. It's going to be something with much lower budget. And it's definitely something for the fans. So that's where I'm going with that. So it's going to be something in between. And that is all I have for the questions in this question-filled episode for the road to TF5. Of course, I'm going to have more updates for you guys because, of course, there is Transformers Tuesday. There is that exclusive set report, which we were supposed to see last week. And then, of course, they're also filming in Scotland, so who knows what's going to happen there. Could be some big action, I don't know. But the fact that they're filming in Europe is a big deal. So I'll have another episode for you guys. So the last thing I'm going to end with, well, the third last thing is that we got prize giveaways, or rather a prize giveaway. And this prize giveaway is for these items here. This is a Transformers Sector 7 Top Secret Archives booklet from the first Transformers film. There's a Western Star lanyard, Western Star Transformers Age of Extinction lanyard, and of course a Transformers Revenge of the Fallen shopping bag. And this is for if you answered the Instagram trivia question correctly. And the question is, two questions. Which director inspired Michael Bay to shoot Revenge of the Fallen in IMAX? And the second question is, which director convinced Michael Bay to shoot Transformers Dark of the Moon in 3D? The answer to the first question is Christopher Nolan. After Michael Bay saw The Dark Knight shot in IMAX, he decided that he wanted Revenge of the Fallen to be shot in specific scenes in IMAX with IMAX cameras. And then, of course, after the success of Avatar, James Cameron actually convinced Michael Bay that he should shoot Transformers Dark of the Moon in 3D. So the answers are Christopher Nolan and James Cameron. And if you answer that, and a lot of you guys have answered that correctly, I will pick a random person on Instagram to be the winner. So what I'm going to do here is that I'm just going to use my mouse and scroll through, because a lot of you guys answered correctly. I'm thirsty as hell. And then whoever appears on the top, whatever name appears on the top, is going to be the winner. Okay, so I'm just going to scroll through up and down, up and down, and up and down. I'm just going to let go. Whatever name appears on the top will be the winner, okay? So blah, 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 blah. Here we go. Ashley Quadra. You are the winner. Message me on my Facebook page, or send me a message on raginnation@gmail.com and send me your address. These prizes are on your way after I get your address. Anyways, I'm going to be posting more trivia on Instagram and possibly on Twitter, so make sure you are following me because we're going to have more stuff to give away. So finally, well, second thing I want to do is I want to do shout outs to Twitter followers. So if you are following me on Twitter and you retweeted my last video, you will get a shout out. Alright, shout out goes out to Dave, Dimitri, Louise Murphy, Tyran Job, Artest Zero Wolf, Rendell Dorta, Kimberly May, and Julie James. Thank you for retweeting my video, and also thank you for following me on Twitter. Your support is highly appreciated, and you know what? If you don't want to stick around for birthday shoutouts, then you don't have to, but I'm doing all my birthday shoutouts at the end of this video, which is right now, because there are a lot of them. So the video's pretty much ended, but I have a long list to go through, and if you're waiting for a birthday shoutout, why don't you wait, once you see what follows next. Okay, so happy birthday to E. Lopez, Sonia Puente, Ramhaja, FaZe Vortex, Treason the DBZ King, Carlos Zabales, Eric Foster, FaZe Clan 2.0, Tra Artist for Life, Fire Ninjas Gaming, MechTech Boy 1304, Julio Caesar, Brandon Gutierrez, Vincent John, OT Dinosaur Scrubs, Muhammad Ali, The Fun God Poop, Kinji X, Brodus A, Space Potato, the girlfriend of Aaron Glitz, Trezon the DBC King, I think I said that again, yes, OP, Opsy, Hyunji Tak, Sunshine 2210, Gamer BG, Mad Gaming, R. Belmiro, Dragon Knight 9000, Iron Rifle, Mario, Genera, Javon Aldana, and Zane Ya. Happy birthday to all y'all. That was a big birthday shout out list. But I hope you have a good one, and thank you for being part of the Ragin Nation, and that's all I gotta say in this video. So stay tuned for episode number 71, and we're gonna find out what's going on over in Scotland. As always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter at Ragin Nation. My name is Alex. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace. His head sculpt, and when he flipped his mask down, it looked like that. And it made sense because if you look at the top of his head when his battle mask is up,